and welcome to A Problem Squared, the podcast equivalent to horoscopes, in that only a very small proportion of you will actually find our answers useful, but you will all keep coming back to us again and again, even when we're vague and or wrong. I'm Beck Hill, a comedian, writer, and Scorpio, which means I'm curious, obsessive, and controlling. And I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Parker, a mathematician, YouTuber, and Capricorn. Which,
oh, yeah, correct.
Yep, I know, because I control that.
Because you're a Scorpio, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm obsessed. Which means he is relentless, a workaholic, and pessimistic.
Oh. I do most of my problem solving via cold reading too, so...
That is true.
It all lines up.
Yeah. I wouldn't call you pessimistic.
I ramble until I get a hit, and then I just, double down on...
Yeah. Or we try and be vague enough that everyone
feels like we've solved their problems.
Answers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was the rest of my...
workaholic, I would agree with that.
Yeah, but...
It's true. Yeah, but you enjoy your work.
We wouldn't be recording a podcast if we weren't workaholics.
I know, that's the only reason we were able to find to meet up as friends. Yeah. Relentless. I would agree with that.
Relentless?
Well,
relentless.
You'll get an idea for something and then go for it.
That's true, but I also prune ideas.
Yeah, but is that... I don't think that's what relentless
Okay, that's
means.
true. That's to make room for more relenting, so carry on.
And pessimistic, which I disagree with. I think you're quite optimistic.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's enough hits for me to... I'm convinced.
You're convinced, yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I had to double check your birthday.
Yeah, I'm right on the cusp.
Yeah. Which is now in my diary.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because my two friends called Matt are both in December.
It's good month.
I don't want to get you guys confused.
For Matt production.
On this episode,
I have found the last number.
Cool.
Yeah.
And speaking of birthdays, we're going to find out what day of the week your birthday might fall on.
Oh, yes. And got another Problem Squared international announcement.
With any other business. Stick around. So, Matt.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. We'll move on.
Done. That's the whole thing. No. Oh my goodness. I'm doing so many things at once at the moment. Actually, I'm going to be back in Australia again. So
oh yeah, you are.
One of the many things I'm doing is planning kind of my trip back to Australia to make sure that's all lined up.
That's quite soon, isn't it?
Yeah. So actually, I will be flying 2 days after this episode comes out.
Oh.
So there's not a lot of time. And we're not recording it with that much lead time either.
No.
So it's within 2 weeks I'm flying. Yeah.
And was it 6 weeks?
I'm back for 5 to 6 weeks in there somewhere. Lucy's back for like 3 or 4 weeks. She comes back sooner than I do.
Yep.
She's got a real job and, physics to physics. But we will both be out there for the total solar eclipse.
Which is
what's prompted this trip.
I'm always saying to you that I've never seen a solar eclipse and I'd like to. And now there's one in Australia and I didn't find out until it was far too late. And also...
it's real hard to get to.
Yeah, and also at a time where my work is not paying enough.
Oh, no. And you can't just zip around the world on a whim?
No.
Wow.
That's the annoying thing. When I can afford to, I'm far too busy.
Well, any other business. That's true. You're either
And
making
now
money
I'm
and
not
you can't
busy
travel.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've already got your whim travel locked in for this year.
I do.
Any other business.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
No, but I'm very excited going out. The drive from Perth to the eclipse, so it's happening in a place called Exmouth, which is like way up the coast. It's 1.5 megameters drive to get up there, but we're not going the most direct route possible. Within the journey back is 1.25 megameters. So we're doing a total of 2.75 million meters. And I love megameters because Lucy's work on the sun, she doesn't work on the sun. She works studying the sun. And when you're talking about the sun's big. Yeah. They measure their distances in megameters.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And a megameter, like a million meters, it's 1,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
And 1,000 kilometers is not like a scale at which it's easy to have a human intuition about. And so we once drove from Perth to Melbourne. I was going out for the Melbourne Comedy Festival and we drove all the way across and we stopped every megameter.
Nice.
And Lucy was doing some research at the time, which was roughly on the scale of Perth to Melbourne.
Just to confirm, you did stop between those points as well.
No, only I'm a megameter purist. No, yes, we did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We stopped more than once every 1,000 kilometers. So the trip I'm going to do, up to the eclipse and back,
Mm.
I'm going to set the little odometer thing, and we're going to stop and celebrate every megameter. Although we
Nice.
only get to do 2 because we'll get back on 2.75 megameters.
And what's the point of the detour on the way back?
Oh, on the way up, we're going via Shark Bay, just because Shark Bay is pretty cool, and there's not a lot of places to stay.
Oh, fair. All right, then. Question solved.
And it was real. Oh my goodness, getting accommodation there's not normally a lot of people in that part of WA, and a lot of people are showing up for this eclipse.
Probably because they call it things like Shark Bay.
Shark Bay, yeah, exactly. Mouth. What happened to the mouth?
Yeah.
Eaten by a shark. So we got to basically take enough fuel for the round trip with us.
Yeah.
So we leave Perth without needing to stop at a fuel station.
Oh, yeah.
We're in a hybrid RAV4, like to maximize fuel efficiency to be able to do the whole thing. We got to take all our own water with us, all this jazz, and we're
Got to take
camping.
jazz as well.
You got to take your own
Oh
jazz.
my gosh.
And we are like camping some nights, staying in hotels other nights. Depends when and how we can get accommodation. So I'm very excited. But I love a good solar eclipse.
Yeah.
So that will be on the 20th of April, if people are curious. And if you're in Perth or other, comparatively more populated areas of Western Australia, you'll get a partial eclipse. So it's still a sight to behold if you're in Western Australia. And it goes through bits of Indonesia as well. So, anyone who's going to be nearby, check it out. And say hi, anyone who's there.
I hope that the weather is better than it was
oh my goodness,
when you're at the North Pole.
Yeah.
No, the South Pole.
South Pole. I'm now 2 from 3 on eclipse success.
Yo.
Lucy's 2 from 4. So this is going to see if we can do better this time.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. How about you? What have you been up to?
I got to talk about Spider-Man for about 3 hours.
Oh, you mentioned you said that when you arrived today. And I said there's a lot of the wide range of scenarios in which that is.
Yes.
I was like, were you trapped by a child, or were you doing like a radio interview, or anything in between?
Yeah, it's Sky Cinema are celebrating the release of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Good
so they did a talking head show, and they got us to talk about all the Spider-Man films that have been on since Tobey Maguire's one in 2002.
Is this one of the talking head shows where they basically sit you in a chair?
Yeah.
Was it green screen, or did you have a real background?
No, real background.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was cool.
Wow.
They've done a little set to make it look like the sort of lair that he has in the animated.
All my talking head stuff was in a green cavern.
Well, that's when the executive producer on the show was also the exec producer behind DC Fancast, which for listeners was a show that I did about 7 years ago on Sky, which was a companion show for all the DC comic book shows. And they built this beautiful set for us that like combined all of the sort of elements of Flash and Legends of Tomorrow and Green Arrow and stuff. It was awesome. So yeah, I wasn't that surprised, but I was very excited by the set and everything.
Physical set.
Yeah, but they've got to get it down to like a half-hour show, and there's like loads of other guests on there. So I'm not sure how much of me will actually turn up on there.
Were they doing that thing where they're pitching you a bunch of like questions just constantly?
Yeah.
Or was it just like off you go, talk about Spider-Man? And we'll edit this down later.
Constant. But a lot of it was also like, can you describe what happens in this film?
Okay, so they had a vision for what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And
It was fun. I
not
like
a bad
it.
way to
They're
make
good
a living.
Films.
Yeah. They're good films.
Mostly. Our first problem is for you, Matt.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And it comes from me.
Oh, wow.
Exclamation mark.
We've really closed the loop on this podcast, haven't we?
I know. I'm sorry, listeners. I did queue jump on this one. It was because you tweeted in response to a tweet that you'd done a couple of years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Recently. You said 2 years later, I thought I'd update that they totally fixed this page.
There you go.
And then
a little update.
It's a link with a question that says, what is the factorial of 170? And I started to read it and look at the replies to you and was very confused.
The replies are all very funny.
Yeah, and I could tell that I don't like being left out of in-jokes.
Yep.
And
whole lot of computing in-jokes. Well, computing jokes.
Yeah. And I don't like being told that something can't be done because then I want to know why.
Yep.
And I noticed that seemed to be a theme in this. So will you explain your tweet to me?
Because you replied on Twitter and said, can you explain this to me in the podcast?
Yes. And then I
yes, I can.
Did a jokey troll thing by saying it'll be on episode 57 exclamation mark.
Factorial. Yeah, exactly.
Which,
Here we are in episode 57.
Yes.
Exclamation mark. So that's funny. listeners, because Factorial is traditionally written as exclamation mark. So you write a number, you put an exclamation mark after it. But what it actually means is you multiply the number. So if you were doing, let's say, 5 factorial, you're multiplying it by all the numbers smaller than it. So 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. And you can do times 1. Doesn't make a difference. Don't do times 0, though, because that ruins everything. So, and for 5 factorial, it's 120 from memory.
So if I wanted to work out the factorial of 4, so the factorial of 1 is 1.
Yep.
Factorial of 2 is 2 times 1 is 2.
Got it.
And then factorial of 3 is 3 times 1. So 3. 3 times 2.
Yeah. 2 times 2. It's always you multiply the number by the factorial before.
I'm not adding them together though, am I?
No.
I'm just timesing and timesing it. Oh yeah, so 3 times 2 times 1.
Which is 3 times 2 factorial.
What?
So instead of doing, if you do a big enough, you do 5 factorial, that's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. But 4 factorial is already 4 times 3 times 2 times 1.
Yeah.
So 5 factorial is actually just 5 times 4 factorial.
Yeah.
And so people often talk about factorials in terms of you multiply it by all the numbers smaller, counting down. It's actually easy to think about going up.
Yes.
Because then each time you want to go up to the next factorial, you just multiply by the one more number and you're there. And what's particularly fascinating about factorials is they get very big very quickly.
Yeah.
Because you're always adding a bigger and bigger number each time.
Yeah.
And so they're very large numbers. And this website was funny because the website said, did you know the number 170 is the highest possible number you can calculate a factorial for? Any higher than 170 and the mathematical answer is infinity. And that's very funny because there's no largest number. Like,
yeah.
For that to be true, we'd have to run out of numbers.
Yeah. And I saw that and I was like, yes, that sounds wrong.
That sounds wrong because there should be another one. Because you can take, if you know the factorial for 170, you just multiply that answer by 171 and you'll get the factorial for 171. And you could do that by hand. Like you could sit down and just work that out.
Yeah.
Which is why it's particularly funny.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of things in maths where they might have said, this is where it ends. But factorials is particularly hilarious because if you know one of them, getting the next one's trivial.
Yeah. Got it.
So easy. And 171, it's got a bunch of ones in it. That's a real easy number to multiply by. Like I can't do it in my head, but you could do it without too much hassle. Shall we have a look at what it is?
Yes.
So I've got a spreadsheet here. And in this column here, I'm going to put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then over here, I'm going to put equals fact, which is short for factorial of whatever the number next to it is. So that's going to give us the factorial of 1 is 1.
Oh, nice.
Which you did yourself. Down to 4. We can go down 5. 120. I was right. There we go.
Yay.
Let's go to 20. It's already had to switch into scientific notation. The numbers are getting so big.
Yeah.
Trillions is 12. Quadrillions is 15. Quintillion. So that's 2.4 quintillion. And we're only up to the factorial of 20.
Yeah.
Stupidly big numbers.
Okay.
Just ridiculous. Okay, let's go to 200.
Whoa.
Okay, so 200 is...
So for listeners, Excel has just done, I'm going to say hashtag.
Hashtag num.
Hashtag num with an exclamation mark. I guess it's saying that it's so big, it's delicious.
Exactly that. And so it's broken. Excel can't work it out.
Yeah.
And if you scroll back, you're like, when did it break? Right there.
At 170.
170.
Look at that.
So 170, it worked it out.
Uh-huh.
And 171, it's like, no deal. You're on your own.
Yeah.
We should try it on some other devices.
Yeah.
Do you have a scientific calculator on your phone?
I mean, I do, but I very much doubt it's a scientific one.
I mean, I've got a number of them. Well,
that
actually,
does not surprise me.
It's a bit different on the...
Mine's really colourful.
On the Android.
All right, so the 170, and then there's my exclamation mark. Oh, yeah. Calculation outside of accepted range.
So yours breaks exactly on 171 as well. Now, the iPhone, I don't know if other people try this. My iPhone will do the factorial of 101, but it won't do the factorial of 102.
Oh.
Look at that. 102.
Nope.
Factorial error.
Yeah.
What we've learned from this is that computers, and I guess whatever the website was using, stop calculating factorials at 170. That's the last one they do. And then after that, you're on your own.
Yeah.
At 170, that's when you skip between 1,020 digits and a number that's bigger than 1,024.
Then what binary can do. Yeah.
Now, they have updated the website. So they've given a reason now. It no longer says that the numbers run out. It no longer says that 171 factorial is infinity. Instead of saying this is the biggest number, it now says, did you know the number 170 is the highest number we can calculate with basic PHP?
What's PHP?
Here's that right up, doesn't it?
Not at all.
I didn't think so. That's the call it a programming language that a lot of websites use to do calculations.
Oh, okay.
So they then go on to say, any higher than 170, we would need a much more powerful 64-bit computer. Older computers used to use 32-digit binary numbers.
Yeah.
And newer ones use 64-digit binary numbers.
Whenever I think of hearing bits, I think of like 8-bit gaming.
Yeah, 8-bit gaming.
And then you'd have I think they were 32-bit.
That was the Mega Drive. Yeah, and the SNES.
Yeah. And then Nintendo 64, I'm imagining.
64-bit. You've cracked the code.
All right.
There you go.
So we would need something stronger than a Nintendo 64. Is what I'm thinking.
So their explanation is still wrong.
Yeah.
They're close, though. They're close.
Which direction are they wrong? Do we need something? Is it that you need something stronger than that or less than that? Or has it got nothing to do with that?
It's got something to do with that. So what's happened is they have said it's the size of the number stored by PHP.
Got it.
But 64-bit, they're probably already using 64-bit. 64-bit is not enough. Because if you have a look at my spreadsheet of values here, they're saying they need to go up to 64 digits to get the answer in. But if you look at when the answers go past 64 binary digits, happens at 21 factorial. So by 21 factorial, you can't even fit it into a 64-bit computer. So it's not that the numbers don't fit in the space available for each number. They're represented by something called floating point numbers, which is a fancy way of saying scientific notation, but for computers, which is what we already have here. So Excel already switched to representing the numbers as something point whatever times 10 to the 17 times 10 to the 18 times 10 to the etc. Computers do the same thing. They can flip it in binary to be something point something times 2 to the whatever.
Oh.
So they have the binary version of scientific notation.
Wow.
And if you've got a 64-bit computer using standard binary floating point, there are 11 bits used for the power, which means that the biggest number you can write down is something times 2 to an 11-bit number. But they actually go from positive to negative. So actually it goes from 2 to the negative 1023 to 2 to the positive 1023.
Okay.
And that actually doesn't make a difference if you're on a 32-bit machine or a 64-bit machine. That's just how much precision you can have in the thing times 2 to the whatever.
Yeah.
But what's limiting the factorial is the whatever in times 2 to the whatever. And you don't get a bigger exponent. You can have a bigger exponent in a 32-bit. It just depends how much of the number you assign to the bit you're multiplying and how much you assign to the power of 2.
Got it.
And so they're blaming the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that they're using a wrong bit computer. It's the fact that they're using floating point arithmetic. And the standard for that doesn't accommodate numbers that big. And that's why all these things are breaking. Because the international standard for writing big numbers in binary says you only use 11 of the digits for the power. And if you want to represent a bigger number than that, you'd have to use more digits for your exponent.
Okay.
Now,
so the question remains, how would you calculate?
Oh, how would I calculate
more
it?
than 171?
I would do this. I would go to Wolfram Alpha, which we've discussed on.
We really should see if they can.
We should get a membership because I'm using the free one.
Yeah.
Ready? 171 factorial and answer.
Yay!
Because you can use infinite precision, or you can have systems that deal with much bigger numbers. You can't just use the out of the box way that computers handle numbers. You got to be clever and kind of do that yourself as such.
Does this mean that Wolfram Alpha isn't using PHP? I feel like that's a dumb question, but
correct. It's not. It'll be using the mathematical language on a server somewhere.
So the person on that website is correct in that
PHP is the wrong choice. I reckon you could fudge PHP to do it properly, but it wouldn't be pretty.
Okay.
PHP people may disagree with me, but there's fewer and fewer of them these days. So basically, Wolfram Alpha, because it's all about the maths, they've got their own solution for dealing with big numbers.
Yeah.
Right. And so they make it work. The one thing I just wanted to say is that website, I don't understand this website. So they've obviously, in the 2 years since I tweeted that, they've I think they might have read the replies and then cobbled together what sounds like a plausible explanation. But it's just missed the subtleties of why that's gone wrong. But if you look at the URL, it's what is the factorial of 170? That's baked into the URL. And you can change the URL. So what is the factorial of? Let's do 102 that my phone couldn't do. There we go. And it generates exactly the same page.
Oh.
But it swaps everything over to be 102.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
So this isn't a page where someone's done like a
special thing about 170, no.
It's like a generator.
Yeah, it's dynamic. It's taking the URL and then generating a fun factorial page about whatever number. But they obviously weren't expecting such big numbers because it says here, in this case, the number of whole numbers in 102 is more than 5.
Yep.
Breaking news. 102 is bigger than 5. You can see how this quickly gets out of hand with larger numbers, and then the text is always the same. It just swaps out a few of those bits. And it breaks in two kind of fun ways. You can first of all you can ask it what the factorial of 0 is. 0 times nothing equals 1.
When describing a factorial, you would usually say 0. I'm pronouncing the exclamation mark there.
Yep.
Like 0 factorial, 0 shriek, or 0 bang. Personally, I prefer shriek. Is that true?
I've never heard anyone say shriek or bang.
Or bang.
No.
Oh, okay. There is a joke on there though.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
I don't want listeners to get their hopes up. Same joke on every 404 page.
Oh, okay. Well, what did the evil fractions say?
You will never stop my plans for world denomination.
Oh, it's quite cute. I like it.
It's got a denominator, right?
Yeah.
A fraction.
Yeah, it's cute. It sounds like something I would write, to be honest.
That's true. I can't be disparaged about it because it's not bad.
I would say factorially and factorially. This is the sort of website I would make.
Yeah. Both its level of jokes and its maths precision.
Yep. Well, thank you for explaining that to me.
So that's why it was very funny.
Yes.
Me updating that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because they fixed it, but they fixed it wrong.
I also appreciate no one pointing out to me the joke I'd made about 57 exclamation mark. They just sort of went,
it's a joke.
Like, oh, you got me.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I was like, oh, good.
No one math-splained it to you.
No, and I appreciate that a lot.
Because everyone went, that's a good joke.
Because they would be within their rights,
that's
to be fair. But
you and I, Beck, have the best people online follow us.
Yeah.
Next problem back came through on the problem posing page at problemsquared.com, and they say up front it's a 2-part question. They think it will divide nicely between your skill sets. Oh, okay. And it was inspired by a recent string of questions from their 4-year-old. They say, for Beck, which day of the week is the best day for your birthday to fall on? Not that you can really change that, but good problem.
Mm-hmm.
They then say, for Matt, just to keep me involved, is there a shortcut to determine which day of the week a given date falls on? If you know the day of another date. So there you are. So apparently the 4-year-old is wondering what day of the week their birthday will be on this year, and if they can look it up or if they can work it out.
Well, I'll answer mine first then.
Yeah.
I think it does depend on your age. Because I think when you're in school, you want your birthday to be on a school day.
Oh, really? Yep.
Yeah, because depending on the sort of kid you are as well.
School.
Exactly. And then kids have to wish you happy birthday. Sometimes your class might sing it to you. I don't know what they do now.
Different people, Beck.
I was going to say it depends. Some of the listeners might be like, no, I don't want any sort of...
Why would I want that?
And in fact, when I did have a day job, I quite enjoyed having my birthday on that. Because if your birthday was on when you were at work, they would be cake. There'd be a cake at the office.
You and I are very different people.
You get cake.
You get cake.
Yeah, free cake.
Yeah. Once you've got a job, you can just buy cake. I guess free cake.
Free cake.
Free cake.
Yeah.
Is it free cake?
Also, I think we've had very different day jobs.
That's true. Very true.
True. Free cake was worth a lot more to me at the rate I was being paid.
Right. God, yeah. I think I was a teacher.
Yeah, to be fair, probably not that different.
Well, that's it. All of my, because my birthday is very close to Christmas.
Yeah.
And so my birthday, I'm saying all this, my birthday has never fallen on a plausible school day, which for much of my career was also my work days.
Yeah.
So I have always had a holiday birthday.
You've never experienced this. This is why you don't know it's better.
That's one plausible explanation.
Oh, I know what we're doing this
Listeners,
year.
let us know. What? You're going to make me go to a school?
No.
Who's this
no.
guy? It's his birthday.
I
We
say
said we'll bring him to a primary school.
We have to record on the day.
All right. So
Take you to primary school.
So we'll work on my birthday.
Yeah.
And then I get free
And
cake.
I bring in a cake
Love
for
it.
you.
I'm on board.
That's how it works.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm there. Deal.
What sort of cake do you want?
Birthday cake.
Well, duh. What's your favorite? Do you have?
Look, if I got to pick the cake, I feel like I'm doing the work.
You don't. Oh, I mean, it is at work.
I don't.
Like, because you don't really have much of a sweet
Haven't
tooth.
got a sweet tooth. That was the other problem. When I was a kid, other people would have strong opinions about their birthday cakes. Whereas I had no real... Because confectionery doesn't particularly do it for me. I'll occasionally have a craving for something sweet, but it's like ones of times a year.
Yeah. Well, you want birthday soup?
Exactly, I do. I have a hearty birthday meatloaf. So yeah, I'm more of a savory. I'm a savory human. So
yeah. So I would argue that a Friday would be the best day,
right,
in general.
Yep.
Because Friday, if you're at school or at work,
from your point of view,
you get your free cake, get a bit of attention,
free attention,
and then it's weekend. So you could
there you go.
You could then do a party or something in the evening, and you've still got 2 days
got the
to
whole
sleep
rest
in.
of it. There you are.
Yeah, to recover. I think the worst day to have your birthday on would probably be a Monday. Oh, maybe Monday would make maybe a Wednesday.
You can still celebrate it on the weekend. Wednesday would be pretty grim.
Actually, do you know what? No, I think the worst day to have a birthday is a Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, because then you're burning all your energy, and then Monday you're even lower in energy. Yeah. So that's my take.
Well,
best day Friday, worst day Sunday.
I had growing up in Australia, my birthday is pretty much on the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year. So as a child, when the birthday is really all about the day, let's say, I had the longest day for my birthday.
Yeah.
And then, roughly coinciding with adulthood, I moved to the UK.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got the longest night of the year. When you're an adult, it's all about the evening.
That's true.
So I think that's...
You'd probably prefer a birthday beer.
100%.
Just some candles floating in it.
Yep.
Or fizzled out.
I want a beer big enough. You can get a tea candle.
So basically beer, but served in a cake tin.
Yes, there you are.
With a bunch of candles.
I mean, what is bread if not improperly fermented beer?
That's, I mean, still...
breakfast toast.
But bread is not a birthday... You don't have birthday bread.
What?
I mean, that kind of is what cake is.
My parents lied to me.
Not only do you have to wait until Christmas to have your birthday present.
Here's your birthday toast, son. Aw. Friday. Right.
That's my answer for me. I can't answer on behalf of anyone else.
That's true. I mean, I would agree a Friday is a winner. You know, you can either ignore it or celebrate it at your work and or place of education. But thankfully...
That's our official answer.
Thankfully, it rolls throughout the week. So throughout your life, you'll get to sample. I'm pretty confident to say every different day will be your birthday.
I was about to ask, is there a date where it falls on the same day every time? No.
No,
that's not how time and dates work.
Yeah, no. And that's because, actually, there are 365 days in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And from memory, that's one more than a multiple of 7. And I got a video about this coming out in a bit. Everyone's like, how many days in a year? 365. How many weeks in the year?
52.
Yeah, how many days in a week?
7.
It's not, because 7 days times 52 weeks is 364, which is a day short.
Yes.
There's one more. Now, if the year had accidentally been 364 days.
No, that's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's one extra
day. We'll do leap
day.
years in a moment.
But you did.
Let's do leap years in a bit.
I just want to describe the look that Matt just gave me, which was a sort of slight wide-eyed, but also you're going to realize in about 2 seconds. And it was correct.
No, yeah. Well, it's also anyone who's done anything involving programming and dates lives in fear of leap years and weird time zones and But so if the Earth orbited the sun a little bit faster, if we're a little bit closer in, and our year was 364 days, then your birthday would fall on the same day of the week every single time.
Yeah.
Or if our week was 5 days long, which is a factor of 365, it would fall on the same day of the week every single time.
Yeah.
It's only because the year is not a nice multiple of a week that it drifts. And because there's one extra day, your birthday drifts by 1 day every year. So let's say your birthday was a Wednesday this year.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the day after that the next year. It'll be Thursday the next year.
Yeah.
It'll be Friday the year after. Saturday the year after. Except leap years. Leap years bump you 2.
Oh, bum.
So then you skip one.
Wait, when's the next leap year?
2024. Oh, next one.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what this means?
What?
Because last year my birthday was on a Friday.
There you go.
This
Good
year
day.
my birthday will be on a Saturday.
Correct.
Guess who's skipping the worst day of the
You're
week?
skipping Sunday.
Woohoo!
Look at you go.
Straight to Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because, there's just one extra day to make up the whole year. And so that means you're a day, you've done an extra day.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a whole multiple of weeks plus an extra day from birthday to birthday. And that means you've moved forward one.
Yeah.
If you've got a leap year, you've got 2 extra days in there. As you bump over. And it depends if your birthday is before or after the end of Feb when you skip the day. Because it's only on the year that has the actual leap date in it. So if your birthday is 2024 before the end of Feb, you won't skip 2 until your 2025 birthday.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
that's when you go over the the hump as such.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's how you can work out when your birthday is year on year. It'll fall into this nice pattern. And for the rest of our conceivable lives, there is a leap year every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They occasionally get messed around with, but that's like once a century at the most frequent.
Yeah.
And so unless you have to worry about this until the year 2100. Between now and then, you go up 3 times. So if from the beginning of the week, you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then you'd skip 1. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, skip 1. This is where you are in your cycle.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, skip Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, skip Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, skip Friday, so on.
Okay.
And that will roll through all the days at some point. Yeah.
Okay. So now I've got a base. As long as I can remember what day my birthday was last year, I can work out what day my birthday will be on next year or this year.
Yep.
So if you know what day your birthday is going to be on, and then let's say we want to know what day of the week June 13 is going to be. I just picked that randomly. So, but if we want to know what day of the week June 13 is going to be.
13, yeah.
But in relation to my birthday.
Oh.
Because that was the question, wasn't it? Is there an easy way to work out what day of the week something's going to be if you already know what day of the week something else is going to be?
Oh, so not just year on year, like within a year. If you give 2 days within a year. Well, yes.
Because arguably now we know it doesn't just work for birthdays.
Yeah.
Presumably, you're saying that anything that happens annually,
correct? Like Christmas follows the same pattern, or New Year's Day, all these things follow that same pattern. Okay. Yes. Tell you what. Do you know off the top of your head how many days are in each month? Because I don't.
Oh, as in 30 days for September, April, June, and November.
Yes.
So the ones that have 30 are April, June, November, and September.
I've written down all I care about is difference from 7, and so I've written down all the remainders mod 7 of all the months. You want to know the 13th of June, and where are we starting from?
Well, the one that I know is that the spoiler alert, my birthday's on the 4th of November, which will be
4th of Nov,
Saturday.
So that's a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do the remainder of November after your birthday. You're born on the 4th, so you're 4 days in.
Yep.
And then after that, there are another 26 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I can start 26, but I'm doing everything mod 7, and that's equals 5. So there's 5 left.
Okay.
And your birthday, what day of the week was it in November?
Saturday.
I'm encoding Saturday as 6. Add them together, that's 11. But chuck off the remaining, that's 4. Okay, cool, 4 at the end of November. Got it. What's our target now?
Okay, let's try May 16th.
May 16. Okay, hang on. Let me just label May 16. I got to get from November with a remainder of 4. So December's 3. Oh, that's easy because that's going to end the year on 0. So you're going to finish the year on a Sunday. That's handy. Okay. Which means we start afresh over here. So January's going to add 3. March is going to add 3 because we can skip Feb. That's now 6. April's going to add 2.
Just so listeners know, I'm watching Matt do this and I am so lost. I have no idea what he's doing.
And you wanted the 16th of May.
Yeah.
Which I add up to give me. So the 16th is remainder 2. That's 3. Wednesday.
Let's have a look. It is a Tuesday.
No, it's not.
It is.
I've gotten off by 1 error somewhere. I'm okay with that.
What date of the year did you say that the year was going to end on?
I said the last day in the year would be a Sunday.
Yeah, it is a Sunday.
Yeah, I got that right.
Yeah.
And then I just messed up the next bit.
So just for me to understand the maths that you're doing
Yep.
and translate it back into Beck language,
Yep.
you've worked out how many lots of 7 are in each month,
Yes.
because that then explains how many times that day pops up in
Well,
the
I
month.
don't care about how many times there's 7. I care about anything that's different to 7. Because if there's 7 days, you're back where you started. So each time there's
Yes.
7, there's no change.
Okay. Yes, I understand.
So I'm now looking at things that deviate from 7.
Mhm.
So
Because that would then move the days.
does January end on a Wednesday?
Or did January end on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
No, it ended on Tuesday.
So that's where I'm going wrong. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so the last day of the year was
Sunday.
Oh, I know what I'm doing
No,
wrong.
last day of this year is a Sunday.
I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to the date next year as opposed to back to that. So I got Wednesday because if you could do me one consolation prize, if you look up at the 16th of May next year.
Well, it should be one day later.
So that's
Which
why
is true.
that's why I was off by a day.
Yeah.
Whereas yep. I was working forward.
So you work your way forwards.
Yep.
And then if it's before the date that you take off one day.
Yeah. Or I could have gone backwards, but then you're doing negative in modular. It's doable if I got a bit of paper here, so I should be able to do it. So I feel like that's a terrible way of doing it.
Yeah.
You can do it doesn't get less complicated than that. It gets worse, in fact. There's a thing called the doomsday calculation, which is where you're given any date and you can then say what day of the week it was. And I can't do that.
Oh.
A friend of mine can. A guy called James Grime can do it. It's very impressive.
That is impressive.
And that's a similar thing where, for example, you know what day the year 1600 starts in or something, or you know what day 2000 is, and then you go forwards or backwards but you've learnt for each where the leap years are, and you shift everything around as you go, and you can get the new day. But it's all kind of built into a calculation. You learn the calculation. You don't have to do the logic yourself. You just crunch it. But what it's doing is it's calculating the remainder mod 7.
So I guess, I think if I was doing it, I would do it the long way. Well, I mean, I can go from my birthday. So I would do this. I'd go, all right, so the 4th to the end, that's 26 days. And then that's another 22 days until your birthday.
Yep.
So that's 48 days.
Yep.
And so then I would just, on my fingers, go
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Wow.
Monday, Tuesday.
48 is one less than
Friday, Saturday,
7
Sunday, Monday,
squared.
Tuesday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Gonna be the
Monday,
day before.
Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're going to be on a Sunday?
Oh, I think it's going to be, what day is your birthday on?
Saturday.
I think it's going to be a Friday.
Ooh.
Oh, we're both checking our calendars.
Yeah, it is a Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. But in fairness, I was trying to count while
I
you were
think you
talking.
rushed. I was talking, you're trying to count. Yeah, that would have worked. That's the safer way of doing it. Well, I feel like, the real birthday gift.
I mean, considering that this is for a 4-year-old,
exactly.
I think maybe the way I did it.
I think counting on your fingers is correct. I think the important gift out of all of this, though, is to Lauren, our editor, who's going to make sense out of this.
Wait, hang on. Whose birthday?
Oh, when's your birthday?
I know it. I won't say in case she doesn't want people to know.
Write it down.
I know
write it
what
down.
it is. I know how many days it is difference from mine.
Here we go.
I feel like I'm doing a magic trick. I think it's a Thursday.
I think she just mouthed almost.
Oh, I got your birthday wrong.
We would make the worst magic show. We are doing this by cold reading. Wait, so it's a Thursday. No, hang on. I'm getting a day during the week. There you are.
Yeah.
I hope that's cleared it up for a 4-year-old. Count on your fingers. I love it.
It's time for Aries, Aquarius, other business.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I've given up that fast.
No one saw that coming. Okay. First bit of any other business. We did our champagne experiment a while ago.
Yes.
With controversial results. I just want to let everyone know we are on the case and we're planning a much bigger event where we can get a lot of people together and have, multiple bottles. And to avoid us having to buy them, we're trying to partner up with a pre-existing champagne event. And so the Royal Institution do Science of Champagne events. And so our current plan is to just have like a side experiment on one of their events. So it'll be in London. It'll be later in the year. But if it does end up there, at some point we're going to put on a big event and we'll announce it so everyone can come along.
Yeah.
It should be good fun.
Hooray.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say loads of you sent in your findings on the bar thing after I complained.
Yep.
And really, really great stuff. Like genuinely fantastic scientific explanations.
Oh, I've seen them flooding into on the problem posing page.
Yeah.
I just skim right over them. I'm like, back thing.
No, they're really good. But I need proper time to sit down and measure them against each other and everything.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you to those people who sent them in. I've seen them. We've both seen them. They're very impressive. And we will talk about them on a later episode. Probably not the next one, but sometime after that.
We should also say that the pre-orders, we're taking the money. Orders for our commemorative plate and our commemorative bowl for 1 million downloads are still going. The website had a bit of a wobble a while ago. People who contacted us on Twitter, all fixed. So we'll close that at the eclipse. As the sun disappears behind the moon, we will close pre-orders for the commemorative plate and bowl. 20th of April.
20th of April.
So you got 10 days from the time of this podcast.
That's not long.
Yeah, get onto it.
Yeah. Finally, we did mention this earlier, but
we forgot.
You got your medal.
I did.
And some listeners came along.
We had listeners there. I was very touched.
And they said, he didn't give us a chance to say ding.
I realized... Because I did it, you got a shout out on a minimum of 2 occasions.
You gave me a shout out on stage.
Yep.
And
in front of hundreds of people.
Yes, because you were sort of saying
the Royal Society.
You were like, "Oh, everyone was great," and then I noticed you go, Beck, for example, and I was instantly was like, "I've done nothing to help you get a medal."
Hey, I thanked you for the podcast because what we're doing right now.
Yes.
Not that this was part of the award.
No.
But then I forgot to do a call and response ding because a bunch of my Patreon supporters came along, which was very nice. So hi to them. And a bunch of listeners did come and see me afterwards and say hi and say that they'd come along because we mentioned it on the podcast. So for those of you we got to meet in person, that was great. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
For everyone else, there will be other events in the future, which brings me nicely to our last bit of any other business.
Yes.
We're going back to New York.
Woohoo!
So, we're going to go do an evening of unnecessary detail in New York again. And we'll link to it below.
Yeah, I will be on.
You're doing a thing, I'm doing a thing, and other guests.
Yes.
Which I'm still confirming. But I imagine when the podcast comes out, we'll be able to say for definite.
Yes.
And the tickets could literally go on sale today. So I told Caveat, don't start selling the tickets until we can mention it in the podcast. So all our favorite listeners have first chance to book because it's not a very big room. So today is the first day they're out. If you want to come along, don't dawdle is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Come along.
If there's anything that you think that we should definitely do in New York.
Yeah.
And that maybe Matt and I can turn into a problem that we solve.
Yeah. If it can have enough solving a problem, we can justify it for the podcast, but also a fun day out.
I've already floated the idea of it being a roller coaster based problem.
You just want to go to Coney Island.
I want to go to Coney Island again, yeah. And now is the time on every episode where we like to thank 3 of our Patreon supporters at random because even though this podcast is free to listen to and we don't expect anyone to pay for it, we also cannot provide it without financial assistance.
We expect some people to pay for it. But voluntary basis.
Yes, yeah. The ones who can, we very much appreciate it so that everyone else gets to enjoy this. And today we want to specifically thank...
Oliver Townshend.
James McNaughton.
John Adams.
Do you know what? I think maybe that is the first time we've almost got them.
I'm not 100% confident on John because it's J-H-O-N. Sean. John. If I've mispronounced that, I apologize, as I do for all the names.
Yeah, I mean, basically what happens is if you support us on Patreon, there is a chance that we might mispronounce your name.
I would
publicly.
describe that as a perk.
Yeah.
One of the many features available.
In fact, look, we will do our best to purposefully. Do you know what? I feel like, look, James, You're Yarmez McNogden now. That's your name now.
Okay, Oliver. Tion Shed.
And other people I want to thank are Matt Parker.
Thank you.
I've been Beck Hill, and we definitely want to thank my fellow Scorpio and our producer, Lauren Armstrong Carter.
So Beck, I'm going to need to ask you. I'm just scrolling down there. Which Muppet are you? Quiz.
Okay.
If people want to play along, link in the description.
Mm.
It's got the Swedish chef as the Muppet that represents this question.
Okay.
And then there are 9
Spaghetti.
options. Yeah.
Is that enough?
So what do you value in a friend? I'll read them out.
Yeah.
Bravery, the ability to chill,
Okay.
musical talent. Who has ever valued musical talent in a friend?
If anything, I think that I am friends with people despite the fact that some of them are musically talented.
Wow. I want music, but I want to pay for it. I want to befriend someone with musical talent. Loyalty, brains, sarcasm. How can you value puns?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Parties, pizza.
Oh, wait.
As in they just show up with pizza?
Or the pizza is in them.
They are pizza.
Like I value the pizza that is in them.
Yes, I value you because you eat pizza. Wow.
Oh, that's become real tough now.
Huh.
I think I have to go puns though. I can't
Really?
It's just.
I understand.
See,
I felt the pressure. I thought
Yeah.
I felt our friendship hanging in the balance.
Well, it's obviously not brains.
Clearly.
Yeah, no, I think pizza's quite up there.
Surprisingly
Like
good.
I will forgive
Beck,
someone
I'll get
for
you
not.
pizza tonight. Oh my goodness.
Okay, good, thank you. That's what I was getting at.
That's what I got. You know what? I would pick the ability to chill.
Well, that's lucky because that is a certain percentage of my name.
There you go. Exactly. That's.
I was going to try and do the maths. But
What is it? It's
too much.
How many letters in your nname? You got 7 letters.
7, yeah.
That's going to be a
5 out of 7.
Yeah, that's like around 62%. A little over that.
Yeah, it's more than that.
6
5 out of
2
7.
point. Yeah, 6. No, wait. 72. Sorry.
There we go.
That's why you didn't pick brains.
Yeah, that's true.
7. What?
Rough, somewhere in the vicinity of 70%.
71.857%.
Yeah.
If I had to pin it down.
Oh man, you owe me so much pizza.